All right. Thank you for joining us today on this episode of Ghost Tales, where we have some fun talking about the paranormal and sharing stories that people have about seeing things, hearing things, experiencing different things throughout the Commonwealth. Joining us today is Brad Bradley. He's with CPRI, that stands for Center for Paranormal Research and Investigation. Thank you so much for joining us, Brad. We really appreciate you being here with us today, joining us from Richmond.
Oh, no problem, ma'am. Thank you for having me on here. I'm the research director for the Center for Paranormal Research and Investigation, and we're a 501c3 nonprofit that basically we're an academic research organization. We operate more like a college or a university than what you see on TV. We tend to operate with using the scientific method, but also as part of that, we operate using the experimental design methodology. And when we actually develop a hypothesis, we run an experiment for the hypothesis, and then we pull all the data, and then we draw our conclusions and stuff. That's how we operate. So that's everything in a nutshell.
Gotcha. So it's more of a scientific approach to researching paranormal activity and things like that. And y'all have been around for like 25 years, right?
Well, yeah, since 2000, 25 years. Yeah, it's been a long run for this group. I've only been with the group since 2010, so it's been 15 years for me. But several of our other folks, we have about 35, 40 people spread statewide, and also in Texas, we have current and former scientists and engineers and medical professionals and police officers. And some of our people are actually from our engineers that work with the Navy. We have people that are part of NASA and are part of our organization. It's a broad reach of skill sets.
Awesome. I love that. And so you've been with them for what you said, 15 years?
Yes, 50.
All right. And how do you like it? How has that experience been for you?
Well, it's been eye-opening. To tell you the truth, when I started out with this group, I was a huge skeptic, almost a cynic instead of a skeptic. I mean, I was that strong. I was like, there is no way that this stuff is real. And then I had an opportunity to attend an event in New Hampshire in an inn that was owned by the guys that from the Ghost Hunters TV show, and Jason Hawes and Grant Wilson. And I saw some things up there I could not explain. And they put me in touch with CPRI because we're part of the TAPS family, which is the people that the organization that works with the Ghost Hunters. And then after that, I started finding out that there's something to this. We don't know what it is, but there's definitely something to this. And the data we've collected is vast about that. You know, we're pushing over 3.5 terabytes now of data, and that's just numerical data. That's not counting video and audio and that kind of stuff. So,
oh, wow. That's incredible. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times since we started this show, people have come up to me and say, well, do you really believe in all this stuff? And I just keep telling them there's got to be something to it, because there's so much that we don't understand. And I'm kind of okay with not understanding it, because all these things happen, can't necessarily explain it away, but it's there. So it's kind of, are we really meant to understand everything? But it's kind of fun taking a look at some of things that people have captured on camera, or the sounds, or that kind of thing. And you have shared so many videos with us. Thank you so much. You guys recently, or not too recently, I mean, you guys have been to Bacon's Castle. I think one of the videos you sent me was from 2014, so it's pretty recent. In my mind, it is. It is. But talk about Bacon's Castle is just really, I got a chance to visit there recently. It is such a neat historic place, first of all. Before we go into the first video, talk about what the feeling was like when you got onto the grounds.
Well, for us, we've been doing research at Bacon's Castle since 2012. And I'm here to say that it's overwhelming. When you step on the property, it's like the history just exudes from every portion of the property, outside, inside the main building. There's a cottage on the property as well, and then the 1710 barn, the enslaved quarters, the smokehouse, all that stuff. It just historically, it's just you trying to take it all in at once is almost overwhelming.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Okay, well, let's get to the first video you sent us. This is, we're talking about, this is kind of outside the castle. We're watching this light kind of pass through from one side of the camera to the other. Let's take a look at it. Do we have that right there? Yes, this is the back side of the house,
And
correct?
what you just saw pass across in front of the camera, we're not sure what that was.
Yeah.
There's no, you got to think. If you look at the date, that's from 2017, February 11th. It was 30 degrees outside. Actually, no, that at that time it was a little colder, and when we started doing this, and that whatever that was that passed in front of the camera, we have no idea what that was. It's not a spider web.
Hmm.
It's not missed. It's not anything like that because we had other cameras that were pointing in the same direction and we didn't see anything from them. And you got to think, whatever this was is either, reflecting infrared because our camera's in infrared mode right now. And all that light you see coming from the main house there is actually infrared coming from the cameras we have in the main
From
house.
from the other cameras, yeah. And
Yeah,
yeah.
but when we were running about 32 cameras at that time.
Oh,
But
wow.
this right here stumped us, and we have yet to be able to reproduce it. The camera's actually sitting on the fence, facing in the back of the building, facing the building. Right, it's pretty much about maybe 30 or 40 feet from the enslaved quarters, and it caught us off guard. To tell you the truth, we were doing this for security. That's why we were using this camera.
Mm.
And lo and behold, boom, this happened.
Wow.
So, and that's typically what happens.
Yeah.
We'll be at a location because we've gone to, we go to locations all across the country to gather data. And when we go to a place like Bacon's Castle, which is this place has allowed us to do all this work there. I mean, it is, we're running all these experiments. We're able to reproduce results. We're able to do everything that we need to do as a research organization. Many thanks to Bacon's Castle and Preservation Virginia for doing this.
Gotcha. Yes, absolutely. Okay, we're going to have to stop for a commercial break in just a second. But before we do want to mention there is another video that we couldn't upload because it is so short. But if you want to see it, go over to CPRI's Facebook page. And it is set up in one of the rooms, and it's just like a light shooting straight down, like right in dead center of the camera, basically. Just a light zoom down, like less than a second long, right?
Yep.
It was
Yeah,
just,
it's like it's definitely it's like a lightning bolt.
yeah.
That one also caught us off guard, and that's what typically happens. We're not expecting it, and boom, something happens.
That's crazy.
So yeah, that impressed us.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's pause for a commercial break really quick. And when we come back, we'll listen to some videos in just a second. Hold on. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Ghost Tales. We are joined by Brad Bradley with CPRI, Center for Paranormal Research and Investigation. He's joining us from Richmond today. Thank you so much, Brad, for being here with us. We've just enjoyed watching all these videos that you're sending us from Bacon's Castle, from all the different times you've visited, and there is so much to take in from Bacon's Castle, like you were talking about earlier. There is this one video we're about to show you where it's kind of like a voice that you hear. Kind of set up this video for us before we take a look.
Yeah, we were actually it was early on in our forays into Bacon's Castle, and the management there was having a production crew on site to do commercial type work for them, and we just happened to be on site doing our thing. And they were following us around. This production company was, and lo and behold, they were filming what we were doing, and we were up in the what's called the garret. It's the third floor of the 1665 side of the building, and all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, we hear a voice, and it was not from a time period you would expect,
Hmm.
which caught us completely off guard.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's play that video and kind of take a listen to what we can hear.
What was that?
I don't know, I wasn't sure.
Was that you?
No.
I just heard something.
I thought it was his stomach.
No.
I thought it came from your way.
I thought it came from your way too.
Uh-uh.
Sounded like a little voice.
Sounded like a little voice, didn't it? I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna mark this on.
We heard it down here.
Yeah, they heard it down there too.
yeah. No, I thought it was your stomach.
It almost sounded like it.
Let's look up there, make sure we don't have a crew. What was that?
I don't know, I wasn't sure.
Was that you?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear, I think.
Yeah, it might be. It might be just.
I
a
thought it
little
was
bit.
his stomach.
But what were we? What
No.
What did you hear when you were there?
I thought it
What
came from your way.
What
I
was
thought
it
it
that
came
we
from
were
your way
supposed to
too.
hear?
Uh-uh.
Well, what we heard,
Sounded
it
like a little
almost
voice,
sounded to
didn't it?
us like
Yeah,
we're gonna mark this
play.
on.
I mean,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
exactly what
Yeah,
it
they heard
sounded
it down
like,
there,
and
too.
I thought
Yeah.
it was somebody's ringtone on their phone. But here's the funny thing: none of us had our phones on us because we're not allowed to, because the equipment we have is so sensitive to that. And so we were kind of stumped as to where that voice came from, and the fact that it sounded like it was 20th century, also caught us off guard. So that plays along into a lot of theories that we're currently pursuing, regarding stuff from different time periods. I mean, Bacon's Castle was occupied all the way up through the 20th century, and so it could have been something from the mid 20th century even. So that was really interesting for us.
Gotcha. So it was a voice saying, "Do you want to play?"
Yep.
Wow.
And it almost sounded like the guy from the movie Saw, but which would be creepy on its own. But
Yeah.
you saw the deer in headlights look on me because I was working on an oscilloscope that we had on that floor, and I don't know if you saw, but the production guy that was holding the camera, his hands started shaking. I don't know if you picked up on that or
I
not.
didn't see that.
And after that happened, he kind of left the building.
He's like,
So-
"I'm done. I'm done."
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And this next video we're about to see is the door opening. Kind of it was like behind y'all, right? And you kind
Yeah.
of turn and you see it, but you can hear the doorknob like
Yep.
go and rebound, kind of like the lock mechanism. Let's take a look at that video if we can pull it up.
Hey, did you see that? I know that wasn't paranormal, but the door just opened.
You could actually hear the doorknob
How do
turn
you know that wasn't paranormal?
and the doorknob pop, and that
I don't,
caused
I
us
guess.
to turn and
I
look
caught
at the
it on
door,
camera
and the
from
door was
far.
just swinging all the way open. Well, it's too bad we can't hear that, but
you
I
see
do
that?
think though that it scared.
I know that wasn't
there was a fellow
paranormal,
that
but
was
the
with
door
me,
just opened.
a fellow by the name of Jack Trammell, Dr.
do you know
Jack
that wasn't
Trammell, by the way. He's a sociologist, and
I
he was
don't,
with
I
me. That was his
guess.
first
I
time
caught it
going
on
in
camera
there.
from far.
And when that happened, he said, "Well, that can't be paranormal." And I said, "Well, Jack, exactly how did that doorknob turn all by itself and open that door? How did that happen?"
Can't
So now
possibly be
we
that.
ever since then, we've
know that
been
wasn't paranormal,
loading
but
up
the
that
door just
doorway
opened.
with equipment like vibration sensors,
know that wasn't paranormal?
changes in barometric pressure, things like
I
that,
don't, I
Geiger
guess.
counters,
I caught it on camera
magnetometers,
from far.
loading it up for bear, and we have yet to have that door open again.
Wow.
I know, and that's typical though of stuff that we run into. That's one of the things we
Hey,
haven't
you
been
see
able to
that?
reproduce, but we're going to continue to try.
I know that wasn't paranormal,
every
but
time
the
we're
door
allowed to
just
go in.
opened.
So
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, that video was
How do you know that
kind of-
wasn't paranormal?
yeah, that caught me off guard. Oh my goodness. And that was in what year was that? Was that the same time frame as the one we just saw, the video?
no,
Okay.
it was actually the following year, if
Okay.
I'm correct on that. Maybe
Gotcha.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was it was we every year we go in there, something happens. I mean, there hasn't been a time when we walk through the door, we have to have an audio recorder running because it'll sound like somebody's running away from us as we walk through the door. And, especially if we go there in the wintertime when nobody's there and the first time they open the door and we walk through the door, it sounds like somebody's running away from us.
Oh, that's crazy.
So,
Oh my goodness.
you
Oh
know,
my
and all the
goodness.
other data we collect around these videos, though, it isn't just video and audio. You know, we're collecting all this environmental data, like I mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and around that door. We're doing that all over the building and also outside. And we're trying to look at correlations between those to see if there's any, if we can figure out causation.
Mm-hmm.
We have found a correlation through stuff that's considered non-interactive.
Oh,
You
really?
know, like you hear a voice or you might catch something out of the corner of your eye, something like that, something that's non-interactive with the environment. People call that residual. That's kind of a misnomer because we don't know if something's really imprinted on the property or not. But we have found a correlation in the environmental data, and that stuff happens when the environmental data is just so. And it's really interesting, you know, that's one of those things that we're going to try to publish. We have an example paper, white paper up on academia.edu right now about it. But yeah, we figured that out pretty quick, and that was all based on data from Bacon's Castle, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
The other stuff that we found is that interactive type activity, where something moves or a door opens or what have you,
Mm-hmm.
there is a spike in the geomagnetic field in intensity. There is a spike in ionizing radiation that happens when that happens. And also, there's like an electromagnetic pulse that happens. And sometimes that actually is strong enough to cause some of our equipment to malfunction.
Wow.
So we've only had that happen maybe 3 times, but that right there is indicative of some well, pardon my West Virginia vernacular, but highfalutin physics going on there. I mean, there is some pretty strong indications that there's something Einsteinian related that's going on there. So anyway, that's typical of the kind of experiments we run.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's so fascinating. I love it. Okay, we're going to take one more break, and when we come back, we're going to have a couple more videos for you to watch and listen to. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Ghost Tales. We are wrapping up this episode about CPRI, the Center for Paranormal Research and Investigation, and all the fun things they found at Bacon's Castle when they went to go visit. Bacon's Castle, for those of you who don't know, is out in Surrey County. It's up on your way up to Smithfield, out just outside Suffolk. I've been there. It's just a wonderful place, full of history. If you're not interested in the ghostly aspect or the paranormal aspect, it's great fun to go just learn about the history of this amazing building. But here we've got Brad Bradley back with us, and we've got another video, Sound of Furniture Moving. And this was in the 1665 part of the house?
Yes, we were actually, I think this was during one of our completely overnight 24-hour stays there. And we actually heard what sounded like furniture moving, and it really caught us completely off guard, because you got to think, you know, we're kind of half asleep, you know, that kind of
Sure.
stuff, and all of a sudden, boom, this furniture moves, and we're like, whoa, what just happened?
And it's like a little tiny squeak. Let's take a look at the video and take a listen to this real quick.
Was that you? No. Okay, that was not us. What room
Yeah,
is
you
it?
got to think, we're kind of
The opposite room.
like trying to figure out what's going on
Where was it?
And it's
throughout
kind
this
of
video.
it's kind of sounding a little creaky when it
Yeah.
happens.
It's a squeak. It's like when you pull a chair across a wooden chair across wood.
Yeah.
That kind of squeak. And it was
not us.
like I said, we were there trying to pull an overnighter to see if we could reproduce some results that we had gotten previously. And lo and behold, this happened, which is something that had not happened before to us. So
Did it sound like it was from upstairs or kind of in the room with you?
it was in the room where this camera was.
Okay, yeah, it kind of sounded
And-
like it was nearby.
Yeah, it's definitely, and you can usually tell that kind of, you know, like
We tend to run microphone arrays in there, have 8 microphones and that kind of thing, and it definitely sounded like it was in the room with us.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. And really quick, we're going to talk to these two next videos kind of go together. They're 2 cameras that are set up in the same room. And we're going to take a look at the first video where it's kind of, you think it might be like a light anomaly.
Right.
So let's take a look at that video and then we'll explain in just a minute. Right. So there's the light flash. Just kind of all of a
That
sudden.
and that also caught us off guard because we're actually running this from our headquarters, which is further about 100 yards away from from the house. This is actually the cottage that's on the property. It used to be attached to the main
That's
house.
right. Yeah, this was the
And it
section
was-
that was kind of in the front that they detached after a while, or is
Yeah,
that
it was actually it was connected. You know, there at Bacon's Castle, you've got a section that was built in 1854 that's attached to it, and before that 1854 section was built, this particular cottage was attached to it, early 1700s time frame, and they detached it and moved it a couple of times actually, and it was used as an overseer's cottage. Some tenement housing over the years, and this is upstairs within that, within the original part of the house of that particular cottage.
Gotcha.
And this flash right here caught us off guard again. You know, it's funny when that happens because we're watching the cameras looking for something to move or what have you, and then all of a sudden this happens, and we couldn't figure out what was going on there because we thought the infrared was just doing something crazy in the room, and then the next one we were able to look at the next camera
Yes.
later, and
let's pull up that video, and we'll see kind of. Well, can we see it? There's
it's on the right.
Yeah, it's-
That's the record light on that piece of equipment. That's a sensor block that measures temperature, barometric pressure, humidity, electromagnetic fields, and vibration.
wow.
And that actually picked up a little bit of a spike in electromagnetic field, almost like a small EMP that happened right about the time that flare happened on that camera. So that we're back investigating those kind of things. That's the focus. That's our primary focus now, is going that direction.
Gotcha. Okay. This has just been all so fascinating. I mean, and you said you've got tons of videos and tons of stories and everything, and I wish we could get to all of them. But if you will like to come back on the show again, we would love to have you back.
Oh, we'd love to. We'd love that. Yeah, I'd be glad to come back anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And so talk about if people want to read more or find out more about what CPRI is all about, where can they go?
Oh, well, we have, of course, a website. It's centerpri.org. And but we're on Facebook, and and there's links all over our Facebook page going to academia.edu papers, friends of ours that have been publishing papers like the Division of Perceptual Studies. We post a lot of their stuff. They're from UVA. And so that they publish a lot of stuff. So we post their stuff too, and actually link back to it. We try to provide as much information for people as possible, and it's on our Facebook page. You can look it up, CPRI, Center for Paranormal Research and Investigation. It should come up.
Gotcha. And you've got all your videos and everything on Facebook too. So thank you so much, Brad Bradley, for joining us today. And we can't wait to have you back on the show.
Well, thank you very much. It was really great to be on this show.
Awesome. Thank you, Brad. And that'll do it for us here at Ghost Tales. So thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be back next week with another scary tale. Join us then. Bye-bye.